Lee affects New England and Atlantic Canada on today's Tropical Weather Bulletin. Tropical Weather Bulletin for September 16th. So these are the currently active cyclones. There's Invest 95W, Tropical Storm 12E, X Lee, Tropical Storm Margot, Tropical Depression 15L, and an area of interest in the Eastern Pacific. So this is the sea surface temperatures for Tropical Storm 12E. And it is riding that line between cold sea surface temperatures to its north and warm sea surface temperatures down to its south. It is, I think it's battling with a little bit of wind shear, or whatever the word is. Not wind shear, battling, fighting a little bit of wind shear, struggling with a little bit of wind shear. And, but it has still managed to intensify and become a tropical storm. But the National Hurricane Center, iWeather app and the Weather Channel and tons of other weather forecasting companies have said that it's still a tropical depression, so that's why it hasn't been named yet. And these are the sea surface temperatures for Lee, and they are absolutely freezing. That's why it turned into an extratropical cyclone. And but also, I just want to say that Lee is 70 miles per hour, but it has millibars of 965. That is extremely low for its intensity. So yeah, if it were a normal tropical cyclone, this would be a tropical storm, but it would have a millibar of 965. I've never heard of anything like that before. But anyways, let's go on to the next sea surface temperatures. So these are the sea surface temperatures for, I think, Margot. And there's some cold sea surface temperatures up to its north and west and east too. So it's like all around it, up around the north and east and west. That's exactly what I just said. But right now it's in yellow colored sea surface temperatures, and this is why it's expected to weaken, because it'll go through colder sea surface temperatures like where it's about to go through right now, because, well, not right now, but later on, because right in front of it is some cold sea surface temperatures. Then it'll go back in warm sea surface temperatures, but then it will curve and then go straight back into cold sea surface temperatures and then weaken and become extra tropical or post-tropical, or just at least a tropical depression. So yeah, I'd anticipate. So that's pretty much what it's just going to do. But we're talking about the sea surface temperatures here, not its track. We'll talk about its track later. But anyways, let's go back. Let's go back to the sea surface temperatures and go on to the next sea surface temperatures. And these are the sea surface temperatures for the tropical depression in the Atlantic. I forgot the number, but they are quite warm. It's all like red and yellow and maybe a tiny bit of like dark pink. But that's pretty much it. It's just really warm sea surface temperatures, and that's why it's expected to become a tropical storm and then intensify into a potentially Category 2 or 3 hurricane later on. And these are the sea surface temperatures for 95W. I almost said 95L for Invest 95W, and they're actually quite warm. As you can see, it's right by the Ryukyu Islands of Japan, and yeah, it has to be affecting those areas. And usually storms don't affect Japan that much, but storms like Lan and Canoon did affect those areas, and Invest 95W is affecting these areas, and it has to be affecting the Ryukyu Islands and maybe also Korea and the main islands of Japan. So yeah, that's pretty much it. On to the next sea surface temperatures. And these are the sea surface temperatures worldwide, you can see where there are like really warm sea surface temperatures: the Western Pacific, the North Indian Ocean, the Atlantic. Did I mention the Eastern Pacific? If I didn't, then that's on the list too. Even parts of the Southern Pacific, like the extremely north of the Southern Pacific. Same thing for the Australian region and the Southwest Indian Ocean. Those are really warm, and I can even see sections of the Mediterranean Sea being quite warm. If you look on the left of the screen, you can see the Mediterranean Sea, and I'm not sure if you can see it, but it is quite warm there. Next, sea surface temperatures. Here's the Atlantic. You can see extremely warm sea surface temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean, in the central and eastern Atlantic, and the Gulf Stream. Extremely warm temperatures there. We can even see parts of the Eastern Pacific there, and that's also really warm over there as well. And you can also see a little cool pool caused by Lee over up in the north by Nova Scotia, Maine, and over the Gulf of Maine and Bay of Fundy. You can see it's even colder there because of Lee. Anyways, let's go on to the next sea surface temperatures. These are the sea surface temperatures for the Great Lakes. The only reason why I'm including it is because a tropical system actually formed in the Great Lakes in 1996, which was quote-unquote Hurricane Huron. It wasn't named because it's not in the tropics, but people decided to name it themselves and decided to name it Hurricane Huron or Huron Cane or the Great Lakes Cyclone in 1996. Anyways, let's go on to the next sea surface temperatures. Nope, forgot to say that it's pretty cold there, but you can probably notice that. Anyways, next sea surface temperatures. I just had a lot of coughs just now. Probably gonna add that in a blooper video if I'm ever gonna make one. But anyways, this is the Eastern Pacific, and as you can see, extremely cold sea surface temperatures near California. That is obvious. But in the Gulf of California, extremely warm sea surface temperatures, and it's also extremely warm off the coast of Mexico and Central America. But there is cold sea surface temperatures down by the coast of South America and up in the Central Pacific. Anyways, next sea surface temperatures, and that will be, the Central Pacific. And this is the Central Pacific, and as you can see, pretty cold sea surface temperatures to the northeast, warm sea surface temperatures to the south, warm sea surface temperatures to the west, and mainly warm sea surface temperatures up to the north. But once you get up to the northeast, it's cold sea surface temperatures. That is, the sea surface temperatures for the Central Pacific. On to the next sea surface temperatures. This is the Western Pacific, and as you can see, pretty warm sea surface temperatures in the South China Sea, in the Philippine Sea, like pretty much everywhere until you get up towards the north, and then it starts getting cold. That is the Western Pacific. Next sea surface temperatures. These are the sea surface temperatures for the North Indian Ocean, and pretty warm sea surface temperatures in the Bay of Bengal, but it's not as much in the Arabian Sea. However, look at the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman and the Red Sea. Extremely warm sea surface temperatures. If any storm happened to get in there, then it would have a field day with those sea surface temperatures. I hope that no storm happens to get up in there, because I bet it would probably surpass storms like Patricia and Nancy, and maybe even Tip. So in wind speed, in terms of wind speeds, and maybe even have like millibars in like the 870s or 860s. That is that's like you can see like whites and reds and pinks, and yellows. So that is extremely warm sea surface temperatures, and I hope that no storm happens to end up in there. Anyways, next sea surface temperatures. And forgot to mention there was also oranges in there. But anyways, next sea surface temperatures. Now, the Southwest Indian Ocean, it's really cold. It's pretty much their off season. The Australian region, also pretty cold. It's also into their off season. And the South Pacific, pretty cold there as well. All of these areas are into their off season. South Atlantic, pretty cold. Only a few areas around Brazil getting around like oranges and yellows. But pretty cold. It's also into their off season, but I think it's always into their off season. But earlier this year, a subtropical depression actually formed in this area, so that's why I'm putting it in here. Also, many storms have also been like pretty bad here, like Katarina, I'm pretty sure is the name of that storm. It reached Category 2 status down here, which is pretty crazy because there's both wind shear and cold sea surface temperatures all year, so it is pretty unlikely for something like that to happen. It even had an eye. But anyways, next, sea surface temperatures. Well, I just want to say that the eye of it looks pretty good. But anyways, next, sea surface temperatures. Don't want to get too off track. Mediterranean Sea, and that's what I was talking about over there. You can see right over there by Cyprus, extremely warm sea surface temperatures, very more warm than average over there. So if a storm happened to enter there, it would probably intensify quite a lot. That is reds and yellows and oranges over there. That is really warm. So yeah, but mostly it's all just grains. You can also see the Black Sea and the Sea of Azov, and the Adriatic Sea and the Aegean Sea, or however you pronounce it. And of course the Gibraltar Strait, which is what connects the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. Those areas all have cold sea surface temperatures, the Hannelore, Medicane Hannelore, which formed earlier this year. This is why I'm adding it, is because of Medicanes, which is just a tropical storm or hurricane in the Mediterranean Sea. It formed in the Adriatic Sea, and also there have been a few areas that have. There's also been a few like pretty bad storms in there, like Ianos, which actually it reached like Category 2 status, just like Katarina, and this is the only reason why I'm including it, because of storms like Hannelore and Ianos. But anyways, next, sea surface temperatures. And finally, the British Isles. Now you can see around the British Isles, it is pretty cold. The only reason why I'm including it is because of storms like Storm Dennis, which is an extratropical cyclone, but it was extremely powerful. I'm pretty sure it had wind gusts of 120 miles per hour, and it had a millibar of 920. That is extremely low for an extratropical cyclone. It was extremely powerful, and well, it caused a lot of damage. I think it caused a lot of damage in the British Isles, and I'm not sure if it intensified over above the British Isles, but I'm still including it because of windstorms, and also almost because if I'm not sure if you guys just heard me because it might have glitched out, but if it did glitch out, I said I'm also including it because of storms like Lee, actually, which is expected to move towards this area as another extratropical cyclone and become another windstorm. A windstorm is just an extratropical cyclone around Europe. A Mediterranean tropical cyclone, or a Medicane, is also a windstorm, I'm pretty sure. But it doesn't have to be extratropical. It could also be tropical. It could be subtropical. It could be post-tropical, I'm pretty sure. And of course, extratropical, like I just said. But anyways, that was the sea surface temperatures. Now we will go to the radar. This is the radar for extratropical cyclone Lee. As you can see, it's causing some rain in Atlantic Canada and Maine and Massachusetts and that part of New Hampshire that separates Maine from bordering Massachusetts. That's just the radar. Next radar. This is the radar for Invest 95W. Not very much rain there, but next radar. And this is the eastern U.S. I'm including it because you can see Lee right up there, and you can see a bunch of other storms right there. Next radar. This is the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see a few storms around Texas and Louisiana and Florida and Georgia and Cuba and Mexico. Anyways, next radar. This is the last radar. As you can see, these are Atlantic Islands, and there's not that many. Actually, no, this is the second to last radar. There's not that many. There's not that many storms there. Next radar. And finally, this is the last radar. This is the Bahamas and Cuba. The Bahamas and Cuba. There's not that many storms there. Next radar. Well, next thing, not radar.
My voiceovers kept cutting out, so I'm using text-to-speech for the rest of the video. This is the cone track forecast for Tropical Storm 11E from the NHC. This is the cone track forecast for X-Lee from the NHC. This is the cone track forecast for Tropical Storm Margot by the NHC. This is the cone track forecast for Tropical Depression 15L by the NHC. That is the end of this video. Goodbye.